Hi, I'm Jim Krensick from the Batavia Daily News, and over the course of today we're going to talk to a lot of people who are running for political office, asking why they would do that and what they hope to do. First off, we have Adam Tabelski, who is a city councilman in Batavia and is running for re-election to a one-year term to finish off the term you were appointed to last year. Adam, walk me through, how did you get appointed and sort of why were you their choice? Because it was the Republican committee, if I remember correctly, that made the appointment.
Well, that's a good question, Jim, and thanks for bringing me in for an interview. So per the city charter, when there's a vacancy on city council, the vacancy must be filled by a member of the same political party as the individual who left the seat. So last November, then Councilman John Delio was elected at the county legislature. He was a Republican. So City Council had to appoint a Republican to take that seat. It's an at-large City Council seat. And I was asked by a few individuals on the City Republican Committee if I would be interested in accepting an appointment or being considered for an appointment. And so I went through an interview process with the City Republican Committee, which then made a recommendation to Council. And at their very first meeting in January of this year, City Council actually voted to appoint me to fill out to take that seat. And now this election is all about I have to run actually to serve out the rest of the term. The people have a say in that.
Did that committee oversell, or were you expecting ultimately the job that you've had to do the last year from what you originally were told?
No, I think I had a fairly good sense of what I was getting into. I had really no illusions about that. I have some previous experience serving in local government, so I think I had a good sense of what the job was all about. And how Batavia's city government works.
You were previously Medina's mayor, and you've been in Batavia for a few years now, relocated your family. And I guess the question I would have about that is there carryover experience? Because we're in an election right now where, yeah, one of the main things you see driving around is your opponent, Dwayne Preston, says lifetime resident on his signs. What sort of experiences do you have that carry over, and is it, something that is maybe more important than having ice cream, when you were a kid here?
Well, true. I don't know that's. I've had several people comment to me that that's quite frankly not really that important. But I think what matters, as you're kind of alluding to, is your experience and your ability to do a good job. So I was a trustee in the village of Medina for 2 years, and then I was elected mayor and served as mayor for 3.5 years before I actually resigned due to a military deployment. So I think the communities are very different, the government structures are very different. However, it's still the layer of government that's closest to the people. So in that respect, I have a lot of experience dealing with kind of policy issues affecting local governments, and the kind of the irate phone calls from constituents, or just the questions from constituents who want to see some trash picked up in their neighborhood, or there's a pothole on a street over here, or a suggestion that a sidewalk be fixed. So I think I have a lot of experience in fielding those kinds of quality of life issues and working with the governmental structure in place to try to get some results in addressing of those issues.
So what is the role of a city councilman going to be in 2017? You have some big issues. Obviously, the police station has been kicked down the road a little bit further, and we're going to see, I guess, in the near future, negotiations continue on water and sales tax agreements with the county. But as a councilman, what are you guys going to have to accomplish in 2017? Because obviously, if you win this election, you're up for re-election right away again.
That's very true. That's very true. Whoever wins this election will have to run again next year to serve out a full 4-year term. Excuse me. So next year, one of the first priorities that we face at the beginning of the new year is working on a budget, actually. The city council budget process begins in January, and usually the budget is adopted in March. And during those first 2 or 3 months of the year, it's an intensive process, meeting with the manager, meeting with department heads, meeting just as a council to figure out the budgetary priorities for the city for the coming year. You mentioned a couple of other issues that are kind of outside the budget process to a certain degree. The police, what to do with the police station is a big and ongoing issue. We've had a citizen-led task force make some recommendations relating to a site for a new station. Now, some wrinkles have occurred with the preferred site, so we're looking at alternative sites and also considering whether it's worth investing in the current facility to possibly make some renovations to that. There are a lot of factors and moving parts to this, but we want to do something that's in the best interest of our residents and the police department so that they can serve the community. And if you've ever been through the police station, it's pretty apparent that you know it's an 1850s Italianate mansion. It was obviously never built to be a police station, and some major improvements, one way or the other, have to be made. We're just walking through the process of doing all the due diligence we have to do to make a good decision, not just for today, but for decades to come.
Is it really viable, though? Because that's what I wonder. I've seen a lot out of council this year where issues are being debated, but it seems as though, you know, we're coming to agreements to disagree. And either things kind of wither, like Vibrant Batavia this year, where basically no decision was the decision that ended that organization. Is council really able to achieve goals?
I think so. I think all of the council members are very well-meaning. There are certainly different perspectives among the council members on a number of these issues, and we've had a number of lively discussions and some split votes at council meetings, and that's fine. That's what government is all about, making sure that different viewpoints get heard and that all constituencies in the city are represented.
And in terms of this campaign, it is an odd one where when people go to vote in November, they will see President and Vice President, U.S. Senate, Congress, and they will hit probably 20 boxes on their way to City Council. In terms of campaigning, this is not something where, yeah, there's a ticket of Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and Adam Tabelski. But you get asked this. You're running as a Republican. Mm-hmm. Is it something that you've seen as a hurdle in having conversations with people? Because obviously everyone's very interested in the presidential race. It's going to be hard to get somebody, incredibly engaged about a one-year council term. How have you tried to address that?
That's true. I think the one reality that we're definitely going to see here in the city of Batavia is that voter turnout this year will never be higher than this election cycle. You have a very contested presidential election, and people are going to turn out to the polls in, you might say, record numbers. I think you'll see a lot of people voting maybe who have never voted before, who want to vote for one candidate or the other. So for me as a candidate for city council, getting people to go to the polls is not the issue. The issue is kind of cutting through all of what they're hearing at the national level, at the state level, and really focusing on, like I said, that layer of government that's closest to the people. In the city, we make decisions that affect real people's quality of life on a daily basis. So when I'm going door to door campaigning, which I'm doing a lot of, I'm not talking about national issues, state issues, unless residents want to do that. I'm talking about, I'm running for city council. I have a positive vision for the city. What do you think's going on in the city, and how can we make it better?
And just finally, when it comes down to it, the question that they ask themselves is, should I return you to office or should I go with someone new? What have you done to, earn this second year on council?
Well, I think it's important to note that we need individuals serving on council who understand what local government is all about, what government's all about, how to work with, in our situation here in Batavia, work with the city manager to accomplish goals and objectives. And I think I bring a lot of experience to the table in order to get that done. And I think I've shown that this year in some of the discussions that we've had and debates we've had about issues, both of what you see at the council meeting and behind the scenes working with other council members on issues. I think we passed a very responsible budget this year, which makes some significant investments in our services and in our infrastructure. We're getting outstanding reviews of both our budget process. We're winning awards for the budget presentation, and also we just completed our annual audit of the city, and we're returning over $1 million into our various reserve funds to plan for things like the police station or other additional infrastructure improvements that we know we have to accomplish. So that's based on conservative, smart budgeting. So that's one of the most fundamental things that we do at the council. We develop a budget, we kind of manage the manager, then we work on other policy issues and set a common, lay out a vision, and then take all the steps we need to take to accomplish that vision. And I think I have a positive vision for where the city's going. I think we're on the right track. I think that working with the BDC, the GCEDC, there are so many great ongoing activities to revitalize our downtown, revitalize the quality of life in our neighborhoods, that I want to keep contributing to that and being a part of that, because I think there are many good things to come.
All right. Thank you very much. You were the first of these, so
I'm glad to be the guinea pig.
Unfortunately, this didn't take. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Jim.